love wash over me. I let the 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 truth 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 wash over me. I let the grace 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 wash over me. Joy. I let the joy wash over me. 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 Love. I let the love wash over me. 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 Beautiful. Good morning and welcome to Unity of Walnut Creek. We're so glad to see you here. Don't sit down yet. We got another song to sing. We're thrilled to have Carrie Hillary back, leading all of our songs. Yay, Carrie. She's got a song we've just done once. This is call and response on the verse, so we need to echo her, listen and echo. And on the chorus, we all sing together.
And the chorus goes like this. There is enough. There is enough. I am enough. I am enough. We are. We are enough. Okay, do that with me.
There is enough. There is enough. I am enough. We are enough.
Now follow me. I close my eyes.
I close my eyes.
I open my mind.
Open my mind.
And I look inside.
When I look inside,
What do I find?
what do I find?
A heart filled with joy.
A heart filled with joy.
Life touched by grace.
Life touched by grace.
I'm feeling love.
I'm feeling love.
For the whole human race.
For the whole human race.
Everybody.
There is enough. There is enough. I am enough. We are enough.
I let it go.
I let it go.
I open up.
I open up.
Embrace all I have.
Embrace all I have.
Give all I got. out my hand,
reach out my hand,
sharing it all,
sharing it all.
'Cause I understand,
'Cause I understand. Everybody,
there is enough, there is enough. I am enough. We are enough. I close my eyes,
I close my eyes,
I open my mind,
open my mind,
and I look inside.
when I look inside,
What do I find?
what do I find?
A heart filled with joy,
A heart filled with joy,
life touched by grace.
life touched by grace.
I'm feeling love
I'm feeling love
for the whole human race.
all human race.
There is enough, there is enough. I am enough. We are enough. Let's do that again. There is enough. There is enough. Like you mean it. I am enough. We are enough.
Good morning. My name is Linda Stevens, and it's my joy and my honor to be here with you this morning. We have a lot going on. You guys are here on a great day. Thank you so much for being here. Please join me and turn to the cameras and tell our friends at home, good morning. Good morning. We know you're not here in the physical, but we feel your energy, your love, and your presence with us today. Thank you. Now I invite you to turn your cell phones off, please. And I want a special thank you for Lisa and Juliet, along with Carrie Hillary and Brian and Sean, yes, thank you, as our musicians this morning. Thank you so much. Oh, let's go to that special place and remind ourselves that unity is a positive path for spiritual living. At Unity of Walnut Creek, we have a mission, and that mission is, in a loving community, we empower spiritual growth by modeling and teaching universal spiritual principles. And we have a very special statement of faith, and I invite you to join me now in affirming that statement. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Now take a breath and sink down into that just a little bit deeper as we affirm it again together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Now I'd like to invite our ushers to come forward. They'll have a packet of information for anybody who's here for the first time. So if you're with us for the first time, or you've been gone a while and you're coming back now, please raise your hand, and our ushers will bring you a packet of welcome information. And if you'd rather pick it up on our table outside, that's okay. There's also a connection card in there we'd like for you to fill out to let us know you were here. If you take that connection card to our bookstore, they'll have another gift for you. Now, for everybody else, there's a connection card in the seat pocket in front of you. So please fill that out today. Let us know you were here. With this card, you can submit a prayer request, and one of our chaplains will be praying with you throughout the week. You could also share feedback on any of these cards. And if you request information, somebody from our staff will call you back during the week. And now it's time for us to tell our neighbors good morning. So stand up and shake a hand or give a hug.
release?
I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
I'm back. Oh, we have some great announcements for you guys because there's a lot going on. The first one, let Unity monopolize one night in your game of life. At Unity's Community Game Night this Friday night, August the 24th. Bring your favorite board game and a snack to share. We'll provide the non-alcoholic beverages. Invite your friends and family for this free night of fun with your community. Then on September the 9th, this is important. How many of you were here for the 50th anniversary? You guys remember that? That was such a special event where we heard a lot about the history of Unity when it got started with Carol Ruth Knox. And it was really special. And we're going to do it again. This time we're going to, yes, thank you, Mario, right on cue. This time we're going to be celebrating Unity's 70th anniversary. Some of our ministers are going to be coming back, and if you have any of your favorite, call them up and say, I hope you come. I hope you're coming, because some of them are having to make that decision right now, and if you'll call them and let them know, it might make a difference in whether or not they can come. Encourage them to come and be here with us. We'll hear inspiring stories from special guests, the past ministers, and our history. Take a look at these and other things in the bulletin for details. Now, Susan Monroe, please come forward.
I want to share with you guys what it's meant to me to be a prayer chaplain. For one thing, it's deepened my commitment and my connection with all of you, the people that are Unity of Walnut Creek. I need to speak into that. Okay.
There you go.
There we go. That'll work now. I don't have to. Anyways, I lost my place. That's okay. I'll think of it. When one of you comes up to me and asks for prayer, I am so blessed that as we sit together, I can feel the dissolving of any sense of separation between us and the divine. My daily prayer practice has changed because nowadays, every day when I pray, linked with fellow prayer chaplains, prayer team members, I know I'm lifting up everyone that's been placed on the prayer list and everyone in our life. And even in my daily life, I'm finding myself being able to get to love and compassion much more readily with everyone I encompass. So if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about the prayer chaplaincy, we're going to have a little get-together this afternoon, and we'd love for you to come and get some information. Thank you.
And now I'd like to invite Reverend Kristen up to the platform.
Well, thank you both. Yes, really looking forward to welcoming in some new prayer chaplains this afternoon. I also want to tell you about something that's happening next week. So it's been my great pleasure to be with you for 11 of the 12 weeks for our 12 Powers series this summer. And I found the right and perfect person to bring home the whole deal and with a workshop and the final talk. And that's Paul Hasselbeck, who's on the faculty at Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute. He's authored 2 books on the 12 Powers. So he's pretty much our go-to expert, the one who's still living. And he's really a phenomenal teacher. He mixes stuff up. I wouldn't be surprised if you've got questions and comments afterwards, because he's a real renegade and a fabulous teacher. So we asked him to send in a video so you could meet him. So take a look at this.
Greetings from the Heartland. This is Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselbeck, and I have the honor and privilege to be with you on August 26th. I'll be giving you the Sunday lesson, and I'll be presenting a workshop called The Fundamentals of Raising Consciousness. In the lesson, I will be doing the wrap-up for the 12 Powers. I'll be talking about the power of life. And then in the afternoon in my workshop, I created this process of how we actually use the 12 Powers to raise consciousness. Charles Fillmore talked about it as regenerating Christ consciousness. But he never said much more than using affirmations and locations, and then we've added colors. However, there is a very specific way to raise consciousness, and it uses the 12 powers, denials and affirmations, awareness. It's a whole process that I hope you will come and learn about so that you can be the best you can be. See you then.
So there's that, and then there's more. We are launching our fall study program, which is going to be based on the book The Wizard of Us by Jean Houston. And so today we're looking for hosts and facilitators for those small, intimate groups. So if you want to host a small group in your home, or you want to facilitate, you can do both. Or facilitate the group or provide facilitator training. That's what we're looking for today. So if you want to sign up on the welcome table, we'll get our groups together, and in a few weeks we'll offer the openings for the participants to sign up for that. So it's a great way to get to know each other and to learn and grow together on the journey. And then finally, this afternoon at 1 o'clock is the Writers' Workshop with Alexandra and Tricia. Are you still a part of that? And Tricia Linden. All right, so join them, please, in room 3. Thank you. Oh, I think we'll go. Why don't we go right into meditation, shall we? What an idea. So I want to prepare you for a time of meditation, beginning with a community prayer reading by C.L. Gerke and followed by some music and guided meditation. So if you want to remove anything from your lap and prepare for this time, we welcome you to do so.
Release. Each day gives me a chance to observe my thought streams. Have I been telling myself I have a limited capacity for giving or receiving? Or do I have a habit of believing I'm not enough? I shift attention away from outer concerns now to rediscover the truth. I open my heart and feel divine love within me, and my inner eye beholds my true essence as old perceptions fade away. I stop seeing and affirming limitation. I stop playing small. I am spirit and expression. Today, I release limitations and embrace my divine essence.
I choose to
surrender. It's a conscious choice. I will balance dreams and needs, guided by God's voice. Trusting brings me freedom. I know this is so. Falling into arms of grace, releasing, letting go. Releasing, letting go. I choose to surrender. It's a conscious choice. I will balance dreams and needs, guided by God's voice. Trusting brings me freedom. I know this is so. Falling into arms of grace, releasing, letting go. Releasing, letting go. And so we do prepare to let go. Just finding the ease of your breath. And with every out breath, there is a release. A release of what no longer serves your body. A letting go. And as you feel your body relax, the heart softens and opens. We are safe here. In this sanctuary and the sanctuary of our own hearts. It's okay to let go. So just knowing that all that needs to go is released on the out-breath, and the freshness of spirit renews every cell in our body, makes a way for an open space in the mind and the heart. It allows fresh ideas and possibilities to unfold right here within us. So we simply practice the law of circulation, giving away that which we no longer need, receiving an infusion of conscious knowing that we are spirit, that all is well. So we let go now and let God in the silence. So taking now one really deep cleansing breath. And as you exhale, exhaling all of the air. When you think there's no more, exhale a little bit more. Recognizing that in fact we are being breathed by the one source. So there is an easy resting flow of letting go and of being renewed in every moment. And so it is.
I choose to surrender. It's a conscious choice. I will balance dreams and needs, guided by God's voice. Trusting brings me freedom. I know this is so. Falling into the arms of grace, releasing, letting go. Releasing, letting go. I am seeing the beauty and all the lessons I've learned, letting go of the drama, mending bridges I've burned. I am leaving the darkness, seeking a brighter day, past the pain and the anguish, finding a better way. Let it go, let it go, let it go before it pulls me under. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Oh, let it go, let it go. Open to a world of wonder. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Don't need a shoulder to cry on, no more tears left to flow, no more trying to hold on to things I need to let go. I'm finding direction, and I'm embracing my worth. I am knowing the answer to why I'm here on this earth. Let it go, let it go, let it go before it pulls me under. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go. Open to a world of wonder. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Closing my eyes, I see dreams coming true. Joyful in all that we do. Days full of miracles, wonder and grace, touching all human race. Well, I believe in my value, and I know I am enough. My spirit is tough, 'cause I am smart, I am willing, and I will grow and I'll thrive. Letting go, I'm transcending, I am coming alive. Let it go, let it go, let it go before it pulls you under. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Oh, let it go, let it go. Open to a world of wonder. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go before it pulls you under. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go. Open to a world of wonder. Let it go, let it go, let it go.
Thank you, Hillary and band. We got a new drummer today. Is it Sean? Sean, welcome. So I'm going to switch the energy up quite a bit here. Have you ever heard of the story of Sodom and Gomorrah? Yeah, right? So in that story, I think it's really relevant for today, and I'm going to tell you why, a few different ways. Today in California, we've got people, this isn't funny, evacuating, right, all the time, you know, because of the wildfires, and being in this position all the time to decide, when do I go? Do I go now when there's a recommendation, or when the animals are showing some signs, or, you know, how do you follow that innate wisdom that tells you it's time to flee? And this was a case with Lot and his family, that they had been given information and received information that internally that the city was going to be destroyed and that they needed to flee. And so the angels told them, the angels metaphysically represent the divine idea. So there's a divine idea that's coming in that's saying, you better go, you better leave, it's time to evacuate. And they didn't listen, you know, because sometimes we don't want to go, right? This is home, this is comfortable, I'm going to wait it out, it's going to be okay. And then again, they got the information, you know, no, you really need to go, and same deal, kind of a little bit more hunkered down even. And finally, the angels showed up, and they took their hands, and they said, come on, we're going. So they're, you know, literally being led out. And as they're being led out, the angels give them this wise bit of advice. They say, don't, just keep looking forward, move to the next place, move to your new city, and do not look back. Well, you know the human mind, how curious we are, how connected we are, how attached we are. And so Lot's wife, she just couldn't stand it, and she had to turn around and look back. And when she did, anybody know what happened? Oh my gosh, listen at all you. You must have gone through confirmation in Bible school. She turned into a pillar of salt. It's bizarre and wonderful, this story, you know? So in those days, salt was really the only preservative. And so she turned into a forever preserved memory attached to the past. That's essentially what happened there. No power of release going on there, and that is the power of the day. So the power of the day is release, sometimes called renunciation, sometimes called elimination, and it's obviously about letting go, having the courage and the wherewithal and the wisdom to know what needs to go that isn't serving us and when it needs to go. And this is represented by the area of the body, I know there are probably going to be some groans, the large intestines and the colon. You know, and even represented by the color brown. I'm sorry. It's true. Or russet, actually, is the actual color. So, and I got to tell you, okay, move your minds off of that. But I have to tell you, there's actually really some good stuff around this because it gives us some very practical advice. Now, this is a very private matter. I don't want anybody to share this with anyone. But you know how that part of your body's working right now, right? You know if there's like lots, if you're like holding on or if you're letting go, and how much energy is too much. And what's the balance, And our bodies, this is the brilliance of these locations. I know you're all looking at me like, I can't believe she's talking about this. But the brilliance of these body locations is that because they're representative and because our whole spiritual walk is about wholeness. It's not just about the transcendent divine, but it's about the embodied experience as a human being who is divine in our essence. And so using and allowing ourselves to be connected with the body helps give us the wisdom and access the constant wisdom that is available to us. So noticing these, Louise Hay is the one who put all the metaphysics to the different body ailments, and it was brilliant because it helps us understand what's going on for us. So if we do notice something in this area of our bodies that's not quite in balance, we can look to the power of release and activate that power more fully. And as we do so, then all aspects of being come into alignment: body, mind, spirit, and heart and emotions and mental capacity. All aspects of our full being come into that place. So this power is, I'm going to focus a little more on the release and the renunciation today, part of it. So that's it for the elimination part. We're moving on. Trust me here, we're good. So I want to tell you a story about a friend. A friend told me this story about this woman named Sarah. And Sarah was somebody who you might be able to relate to, who was told from a very young age from her mother in particular about not really having much worth. In fact, her mother's last words to her were something like, "You're pathetic," which is just heartbreaking, right? That anybody could have that kind of experience. Yet Sarah herself was a very compassionate, kind being and carried none of that kind of stuff except for the underlying beneath of not being enough, the underlying belief of unworthiness. And that's one that runs through our culture. There's a lot of that core belief, right? So as we work with something like the power of release, we want to, if we can, if we're able to and aware of those core beliefs, we can begin to let them go and to break up those old energies. And this started to happen for Sarah. What happened was one day, she became aware of the fact that she tended to constantly say one of the other core beliefs that she held, that things could always be worse. She thought this was a positive thing to say. Well, things could always be worse. So she would tell her stories of what was going on in her life, and she would punctuate it with, things could always be worse. And so one day she's getting her hair cut by her hairstylist, and we all know that people use that as confessional and all kinds of things, So there she was telling her hairstylist, looking in the mirror at the same time, telling her hairstylist about all this stuff that was going on in her life, and then punctuating it with, things could always be worse. And her hairstylist says, while Sarah's looking in the mirror, well, things could always be better too. And it was a moment of revelation. You know how that is, those moments, like if somebody told you at 8 a.m. yesterday, it wouldn't have connected, but they told you today at noon, and it's like the angels began to sing. You totally got it. You aligned with it. It was the insight in the moment that you needed. And that's what happened for Sarah. So there she is looking in the mirror, hearing this and feeling it all through her body and realizing, what? Things could always be better? There's a chance things could always be better. It was like, it's of course common sense, but it doesn't matter. It's not in in us yet. And it's when those insights, those divine ideas come in and they really digest, then we get it. We're like, oh, we can move in that direction of things could always be better. So she was so on fire that she did something she hadn't done in years. She went to church the next day. And she brought her daughter. And her daughter went to the children's church, and she learned about this lesson that she brought back. I'm going to go over here to my little prop corner. And she learned this lesson that she told her mom about, and this also lit a new fire. So she said, it wasn't a can of beans really, but the daughter said, what we did in class today was we talked about our prayers, and then we decided the things we couldn't fix ourselves, we would put in this can, and the can, so they would, they came without labels. So we just get rid of that. And, and we put a new label on it. It's the God can. And so the kids were putting their prayers in the God can. Whatever I can't do, God can. Isn't that great? And Sarah all of a sudden thought, that's it. I just have to peel off that old label that says I'm not good enough, and that old label that says things can always be worse. And she wrote on her can, things can always be better. So, that work is constant, but when we have this sort of outer representation, this object lesson, if you will, it really brings it home. And so she really began to work with that. And as she did, her whole life turned around. She went back to school, she became a social worker, she married another social worker, and the rest of their career, they taught thousands of people together how to remove the old labels that didn't serve and to remember that God through them can do anything. And so it is with us that those moments, sometimes that they're the great ahas, the great insights like Sarah had, and sometimes it's the little things. There's a constant ability for us to be able to weed out and release the things that aren't working for us, the limited ideas that we hold about ourselves, all the way down to these kinds of core beliefs. The habits on the outside, we could start on the outside and work our way in, or we can start on the inside where the thoughts and feelings are, and the words are in between. And so you might notice that, there's some habit outside of you that you reach for that it's time to let go of, so you can open up to what the splendor of you, the essence of you, the divinity of you. And you might notice then maybe it's some things that you say that's sort of the first, an earlier step of what you're co-creating the world. And so like Sarah, you might notice some things you tend to say. What is it for you? What is it that you're thinking and saying to yourself a lot or out loud that is a limited idea? Take a moment to check in. You might even want to close your eyes and just see what's here for me that really is, it's time to let it go. Some limiting thought or idea about life or myself. So once we have a sense of that, we can work with our tools. One of our tools in Unity is bringing in that renunciation piece, the power to say no to what doesn't work so we can affirm and say yes to what does. And so you can actually recognize what is this thing that I have given power to, because by believing it, by thinking it, by saying it to yourself over and over again, you're creating that groove, right? That negative groove of what you don't want. And you're giving it power. And so to reclaim our power, whatever that is, and so one of the great ways we can renunciate, it used to be called denials or release statements, is to say, this has no power over me. So whatever it is, this idea of unworthiness or this fear of failing or this fear of succeeding, we often have one of both, sometimes both going at the same time. And so, this fear of failing has no power over me because I am one with the divine intelligence of the universe. And I go forward now, opening the doors of my own heart and taking the first step toward the possibilities of my life. Those are the affirmations. So the renouncing is the letting go of the thing that is holding power over you, that you've given power to. It can be something on the outside. Maybe you gave sugar power. And you're in that addictive loop of I got to have sugar, in that craving loop. And you realize, oh, this isn't good for me. I want to let go of some of that so that some of the good can come through and I feel more vitalized and energized and feel healthy and whole in every way. And so we let that go. You know, sugar has no power, this craving has no power over me. The sweetness of life is available to me at any time. The sweetness of spirit is right here within me, and I have only to drop in and to feel that love and that sweetness and that knowing that all is well, that life indeed is sweet. So however you craft that for yourself, take that came to you, or maybe later you'll work with this exercise and something else will come to you, and work with that, renouncing that it has power over you so that you can reclaim the essence and the goodness and open up that channel that is blocked. We don't want to become like the Dead Sea, you know, stagnant with no life in it. And if we don't release, that's what happens. So it's the constant letting go of the limitations and the labels and the things that have kept us constricted and small, so that we can indeed be who we have come to be. The magnificence that is in you wants to be released. The splendor of you, the divine light of you, it's desiring to be released. The only thing that stands in the way are those limited ways of thinking and being. So we just let go of them. It's easier said than done, isn't it? I love to weed. Does anybody else love to weed? Oh, good. Some of you do. Here's one of my prized possessions from this summer. I mean, that's a good one, huh? Sorry, Charlene, it's a mess. So it did have a root, too. I did get it all the way to the root. But I could tell you, this was so pleasurable to pull this big guy up. Now, you might notice that I also still have it. And I pulled this out like a month ago. Now, I'm not really a huge pack rat, although Brenly might differ. But I just happened to be walking to the park one day, and it was there, and it was covering up all the beautiful flowers and greenery, and it brought me so much pleasure just to get this big old thing out of the way, you know? And this is sort of what it's like in our consciousness when we walk around with a bunch of stuff hanging out in there that we don't need anymore. Can you see me very well? Not as well, right? I can't see myself as well either if I look in the mirror. But if I take this old thing out, wow, it's so much better. Everything's so much clearer. I can see you, you can see me. We have the essence of what we are available to us. And so it's as easy as weeding. It's as easy as deadheading a flower, and just as satisfying as we let go of these things, unload these things that are burdening the essence of who we are, that are blocking, that are bringing darkness to areas that are meant to be full-on radiant light. So we can renounce by renouncing something has the power over us. We can renounce people's opinions of us, their labels that they've put on us that we've taken on, like Sarah did of the labels her mother gave her. And we could say, other people's opinions have no power over me. I am one with a divinity that knows the truth of who I am. And I stay true to, and answer only to that one true being within me that knows who I am. So it's that letting go, it's that renouncing, and it's also the ability to say no. In Unity, we're a positive path for spiritual living, and so we love the affirmations and the positive side, so we kind of overlook this side, the power of release, the things that stand in the way. But we absolutely have to do this part too, or the abundant flow of good will not flow as easily and effortlessly as it is meant to. So I want to offer you an exercise that shows up in Paul Hasselbeck's book, which he co-authored with Cher Holton. And so in this one, I want to invite you again, this exercise, just to tune in again. Maybe the same thing that you want to release that we did in the first exercise will come, and maybe something else. So just see, there's some limited idea, something that you need to say no to in your life. And once you really can feel that thing, that way of being, that way of thinking, that habit that needs to go, let yourself really feel how it doesn't work for you for a minute, how it blocks you. You might even see the darkness that comes as you hold this idea, this limiting idea. Now we're going to muster up our power of power and really speak a strong no to it. So I just invite you to even out loud, really strong, just no. No. Yeah. So you feel as you say no, you kind of open up, you know, we used to say it creates a vacuum, right? There's an opening now, and there's an opening for the good to come forth. And in this exercise, as we are saying no, because we may still have resistance to even saying no, K-N-O-W, when you are saying no, that there is a wiser part of you that knows. So when you say no to, I can't do this right now, or I'm not willing to move in that direction, or I need to stop thinking this way, or whatever it is, think to yourself, that's a K-N-O-W, because there's a knowing inside of you, there's a wisdom inside of you that knows what the N-O is about. So you're getting to that deeper space of, I'm tapping the wisdom that knows that the no is for the highest and best good. So where you find resistance even to the no, this may help you to relabel that, K-N-O-W, I know, and it's coming from that inner knowing within me. So we're renouncing in these different ways. We're weeding basically the weedy places within us, in our minds and in our hearts, and we're opening up greater space. And then Jesus returns us to Lot in Luke. And when he's asked by the Pharisees and the Sadducees, how do you get to the kingdom? You know, how do you, this kingdom, this idea of everlasting, and some of the Sadducees and Pharisees probably imagine that to be the afterlife or some place. But some of them understood that it was here and now and available, and there was something about that he himself was dwelling in all the time, and some of his followers were dwelling in all the time, and that each of us is dwelling in, or having the ability to dwell in any time, and tapping in and out of that. And so how is it that you get to the kingdom? And he says in response, remember Lot's wife. And then he goes on to say, whatever you have held in your life, the ways that you are trying to make your life secure, the people who are trying to do that, to make their lives secure, will lose their lives. But those who lose their lives will keep life. It's a really deep teaching, but it gets to the essence of what surrender is about release is about, which is surrendering over, giving over to Spirit. And so giving over then, being willing to let go of whatever it is that we need to let go. Sometimes that's, you know, letting go of commitments that we've made that no longer serve us. Sometimes it's the limiting thoughts that we've talked about, or the labels. But whatever it is, you know what you need to let go of. And so remember that pillar of salt, that place of preserved attachment that is forever, everlasting, preserved in that space. No life, no movement anymore, no evolution anymore, no growth. And instead, open up to the knowing that whatever you give over, whoever is willing to lose everything that is outside of their lives will gain everything. St. Teresa of Avila said, we're like the young man who came to Jesus and said, how do I get into the kingdom? And Jesus said, sell everything and follow me. And the young man was very wealthy, and he said, oh, and he turned around. And she said, we're like that man who just, you know, we want it. We want to be a part of the kingdom. We want this knowing of the divinity in us. We want to dwell in the joy and the love and the happiness and the light. And we want to be on purpose, and we want to create in our lives, and we want to wake up every day and be like, yeah, this is it. I'm on fire. This is what my life is about. It's connected. It's healthy. It's whole in every way. Don't we all want that? But then sometimes we learn, got to go through the narrow gate of the divine path, and we go, oh, see ya. You know, I think I'll go just, you know, reach for my outer comforts. So it's a journey that, you know, we need to be willing to take, and maybe it's one step at a time. Maybe it's just releasing one, maybe this week it's just releasing that one thing that came to you today. Saying no to that, recognizing that that itself has no power over you, and feel the freedom of that. And once you taste that freedom, it'll be yet another thing that you'll want to release, and yet another thing, and yet another thing. And before you know it, there's a freedness that is all that history is behind you. And now it's just a one at a time as things come in the present day and the present moment that can be released like this, because we get it now. We get the true law of circulation. That's what we're really moving to, full abundance in every way as we free ourselves from the blocks to our good. So let's know this together. Let's speak this affirmation, really feeling it as we release these blocks and move into our full abundance. Together, I release all that blocks my good, and infinite abundance flows to, through, and as me. And so it is.
Thank you, Kristen. It has been a great series. And will you be here next week? You won't. You're going to take a day off. Aha. So that's why Paul's going to be here. Yes. So I hope to see you guys all here next Sunday. Our prayer chaplains are available after service to provide personal prayer support. If you're a prayer chaplain, would you please stand now so that everyone can see who the chaplains are that will be here for you after service. So whether you have a joy or a concern on your heart, praying with our prayer chaplains is a very powerful opportunity to have your intentions raised up in consciousness. And now it's time for our prosperity celebration. We know in truth there is no lack or limitation because abundance is our true nature. For your convenience, there's a variety of ways that you can give financially to this community in addition to your love and support of all that is done here. For credit card donations, you can use PushPay on your smartphone or take an envelope in the seat pocket in front of you. And for those at home, we don't forget you guys. Use PushPay or the donate button on the Watch Live page. Now I invite you to take your tithes and your love offering in your hand and repeat our affirmation with me. Divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful. Thank you.
Right here and right now.
Thank you, Carrie and band. Come on up. You know, Reverend Max, who used to serve here, often would say, whatever I released still has claw marks on it. Everything he ever released in his life. And isn't it so for all of us? And so we truly do release. Don't take it back, okay? Really let it go this week. Let it go, and let the abundance come. Let's know this together, that our abundance comes as we release. And let's bless our offertory together. We give thanks for the ever-increasing, unceasing flow of absolute good in our lives now. So it is. All right, here comes our children and youth. Yeah, I was wondering where they were.
In the light of God, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of God. 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 We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of God.
Wow. I think I have a sneaking suspicion as to why we have such an amazing YOU turnout today. Because Turtle, Mark Tortelot, our YOU sponsor, who's also a regional sponsor, is moving to New Jersey, and this is his last Sunday with us. Mark, we love you so dearly. We are going to miss you so much. And I know that one of the YOUers at least wants to say something. Eva, do you want to come up and share? Thank you.
Hi. So I was going to share today, but I actually have someone else who's going to share.
I hope I can sing into this, right?
Sure.
Is that fine?
What is your name?
All right. Then just a little song. I'd like to actually uphold you, though, for a moment in the light of everything. Just so I can see you, so you're not standing behind me. I really see you. Hi, I'm Samuel Zavala, and don't worry, I adjusted the song to my dead voice right now, so it won't sound horrible. And this is for you, Turtle. I wrote this on the way home from Stinson and kind of this morning, so kind of the last 2 days. But let's see. Okay, so. Turtle, this path leads a new way. Turtle, don't worry, love exceeds space. Turtle, our love will grow into places. My turtle, you love me for all my faces and disgraces and faces. Yeah. Turtle, he talks a lot and he knows just where I'm going with my thoughts. And he's smart, damn brave. Hope I'll be like him someday. Turtle, thanks to you, a mountain of a man to look up to. Turtle, thanks to you, I'll grow old and never lose my youth. And then I think this is where everyone comes in and we go. Thanks to you, Let me do that again. Thanks to you. And we go. Thanks to you, Turtle Eye. Thanks to you, Turtle Eye. Thanks to you, Turtle Eye. Thank you.
You all can be seated for a moment if you want. Because he just sang that he talks a lot, so no.
He's taller than I am. This is rough. So, a long time ago, I started coming here with my wife, and there was a lack of people involved with the kids, and I was like, oh, I like working with kids. I'll work with the kids, and God, they were all about this big, and took a while to get used to everybody. Some were harder to get used to than others. Learning how to handle their unique energies. It was a little harder for me, and you know, for me, I feel like a small part of what they've become. It seems like a short time. It's only been, I think, 8 years since I've been working with the kids, but I've seen all of them, even some that aren't here anymore because they've grown up and aged out. The Dimitri and Helen's daughter is wonderful, and it was wonderful to watch her grow up. And I've just been thankful to be a small part of who they've become. These kids, they all deserve the credit themselves.
We've got some love notes for you. We're going to miss you. Thank you. Let's bless Mark and the rest of the youth, children, and teachers. We know wherever you go, Mark, you bring our love with you. Mark, children, youth, and teachers, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divine light within you. We invite you now to take your neighbor's hand, as we always do, and close out with our prayer of protection and our peace song. Together, the light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine.
Presence
You are the light and the love and the peace on earth right now. So let your light shine and have fun.
Grace wash over